And welcome back. We now want to get more perspective on the maize situation in the country. KTN's Abdi again spoke to Gerald Masila, the CEO of East Africa Grain Council. Here's more on the same.
Many thanks for joining us in studio. And the whole debate around the cost of ugali is gaining momentum by the day. We are seeing the flour prices have shot up. Now a 2 kg packet of maize flour is costing close to 210 shillings, something we've not seen in the recent history of Kenya. What is happening and where is the maize?
Thank you, Abby, and thank you for having me in this show today. A very good question you're asking, where is the maize and how are we in this situation where a packet of 2 kilograms flour of ugali is retailing for over 200 shillings. In fact, it has never happened in the history, and we've never seen this. And the real reason why this is the case is just because of the basic economics principles of supply and demand. We have had a serious shortage of maize starting from last year. The harvest we got was not that good, and how we get to know the situation or the levels of supply and demand is through the price levels, the price monitoring, because the price tells you whether you have a high supply or a low supply. And so what we noticed towards the end of the year last year during the harvest, when the harvest started, the price didn't come down usually the way it comes during harvest, and immediately the first industry that was hit was the animal feeds industry. So the price of maize and other raw materials, because we even had soya and others, went too high, and we immediately as EAGC alerted government that we have a problem here, as was seen in the feed sector. And because of those high prices that we experienced in December, in January, going into February, we asked government that we need to take immediate action to at least find supplies for animal feeds so that we reduce pressure on food, on the maize that is going to food. And so at that time, government agreed to get maize imported specifically for feeds, but they demanded that it has to be non-GMO maize. So a Gazette notice was issued in December, but not a grain of maize came because you could not find any of those supplies anywhere. Until recently is when they now have changed, and they have said that on our appeal that we can bring maize that is got 0.9% GMO content. So what has happened is that the consumption rate, given the supplies that we had, have depleted what we had in the country, and that has been consistently demonstrated by the prices. If you look at the price of maize from January, February, reaching to where we are now, when a bag is being sold for over 6,500, and that is if you are lucky to get it. Most of our members in the milling, food and feed industry, some in the feed actually closed shop. They just couldn't continue producing feed because the costs were so high. A lot of farmers who produce poultry and others in the livestock have also had to cut down and to close their businesses in the livestock sector. And so apart from the price of ugali going as high as it is, in another few weeks, you will not find your chicken on the shelves. You'll have issues with eggs. You'll have issues with even milk, because all these livestock productions are carried by grains and cereals. It is grains and cereals that produce the feed, produce the food that we do. So it's all a question of supply being not.
All right, let's go on an adventure. This is my colleague Noah Kipkemboi now with this week's episode of The Adventurer. The Dongokundu Special Economic Zone is poised to transform the coastal economic prospect. Noah Kipkemboi tells of the progress of the